But yeah, when you go on one of those, when you talk about the privacy, it was Tommy Shaw. I was getting from Tommy Shaw from Styx and stuff.
I don't know him personally, but I know.
You know who I'm talking about. Tommy and I were talking about. I've actually had this conversation with a number of cats who've done what you're about to do, and they have hit or miss stories. Sometimes it's a little frightening being chased around the boat by the fans, and your handlers all of a sudden you're looking at your handlers going, man, you're really earning your dough today.
Yeah, they're nervous. Jake, who you met earlier, our security guy, is very nervous about being on this cruise because he's got to watch over us, and a lot of the guys are bringing their families. My wife actually chose not to go because we keep ourselves very private, and I don't like to share, my personal life that way with the fans, and I don't want to share my wife and them try to become best friends with her because they don't really know her. They know me through a rock band. So she decided not to go. She just doesn't want to deal with it, which is very strange. I think she's the only one not going on the cruise as far as wives and girlfriends. But she's here in Hawaii, so making it up for it here.
Yeah, well, and you're doing it in class. Look at you bringing her here. I mean, this is...
You got to. We never got a honeymoon. You got to.
Did you bring her down under, too?
No, it's too expensive. And playing the different cities, you had to fly to each city because they're so far apart. It would have just been a fortune.
Were you with a lot of other bands down there?
Yeah, it was this huge festival called Soundwave, and there was Faith No More, Jane's Addiction, a bunch of metal bands, Clutch, and Meshuggah. The list goes on and on. Just tons of great bands. Jimmy Eat World.
Who did you get to hang with? Who's famous?
Didn't hang with many of them because it was such you play the show, then you go back to the hotel, you sleep for a little bit, get on a flight, do the next one kind of deal, or fly to the next city and have the day off. But I got to meet a few of them. Faith No More guys were really nice. The Janes guys
Mike
were really nice. One of my all-time favorite drummers, probably the reason I have dreadlocks today, but he was fun. I watched those guys every night that we played aside from one, and they were amazing every single night.
Perry Farrell?
He's insane, but great, and looks amazing. I didn't realize he's in his late 40s, early 50s.
Dude, he's 50. He just, and I say the same thing. You look at the belly on that man. You could, serve food if you put him on his side.
He looks great. He looks great and still is singing great. He can't hit the high notes quite as much as he could back then, but for being 50, he's really taking great care of himself.
Does he have, a nutritionist or something with him? How does he, because I've been wondering that myself. When he celebrated his 50th, and they allowed on that Nine Inch Nails Jane's tour, they allowed the video and stuff. So you got a really good video, fan shot, tour tracker sort of video. And when you looked at it, you look at Perry. So when you saw him backstage, was there an entourage? Did you see some nutritionist kind of cat lurking in his shadows there?
No, their dressing rooms are kind of kept away from everybody else. They're a little bit,
part of the mystery.
Yeah, part of the mystery. But he definitely, he had his wife in tow at all times. She's actually she was the girl on stage with no top on. She's always there, and she was part of that, whatever the party thing that he did before this.
What party?
Whatever the band, he had something party before this.
The Porno for Pyros?
No, there was one in between. I forget what it was called. Anyway,
he's a busy boy.
He always has something going on, but she's with him at all times and kind of watching over him. And he's a strange cat, but he seems to really have it all together. I think the stage persona is a little bit more than what he really is. I think he's pretty down to earth, and he had such a long history with heroin and drug addiction and everything else that I think now he really tries hard to keep himself clean and sober and healthy.
They have that whole drama with is it Eric Avery who just quit, and now supposedly Duff was already in the band. I thought this was old news.
I don't know. He quit at the last Soundwave show is when he left the band. I don't think they've ever gotten along. Even when they did that last Jane's record, they had Chris Chaney playing with them, who actually did a lot of the bass on our record, on this record. So he's a really cool dude, and I thought they might get him back, but I guess not.
Yeah, that was a weird thing when that happened, because I had been hearing the stories about Duff's a great guy. You didn't see Duff there, did you?
Duff, no, he wasn't there, but I've met him. He's a really nice guy.
Yeah, he is. He's a solid brother. He'll fit in great with those cats.
And he looks good as well.
Yeah, he is very well. That's another guy. Good point from you there. A lot of people would probably be envious because you were able to parlay among a lot of other bands, and this is another interesting avenue to figure out how it happened. You're on the new Alice in Wonderland soundtrack.
Yeah, that Disney approached us. They said, hey, would you write a song for us? And we said, absolutely. I'm a huge Tim Burton and Johnny Depp fan. They always do something cool together. So why wouldn't you? And Alice in Wonderland is such a wonderful story, and to see Tim Burton's twist on it, we actually saw the premiere last night, and it was really cool. To see his twist on it was neat. So they approached us, and we, of course, are always on the road, and we were still touring. So everything was tracked either in a dressing room, in the back of the tour bus, or in a hotel room. Aside from the vocals, we actually went to a studio for that.
I like that.
pure silence, but everything else was done inside the box. I mean, the drums were done in the locker room 30 minutes before we went on stage for a show.
It's ballsy, dude.
Hey, you got to do it. You know, you can't take time off the road. That's where you make your bread, and you got shows already booked. So I think it turned out well. It was a lot of fun to do. We have another one coming out. There's a Sylvester Stallone movie coming out later this year.
Expendable.
Yeah, and we have a song coming out on that soundtrack too called Diamond Eyes. So
man, from talking with Barry, you'd think that his major in school was business administration at UCF and not, what was it, marine biology? You said?
It was anthropology, and I worked as a biologist. I've had a strange life, I guess. I had a background in chemistry because for a while there I was doing forensics. I wanted to be a forensic anthropologist, and didn't work out. I hated chemistry with a passion, but I had enough chemistry to where I could do a basic biology job, and that's, was basic chemistry, cleaning lakes, so it worked out.
Wrestling alligators.
Yeah, that happens.
How about so you did you get to interact with Johnny Depp at all during the whole thing? Did you meet him at all?
Never met him, didn't talk to him or Tim. It was just, hey, write a song, and then the people at Disney said they liked it. Really, we didn't even get a script, had no idea what the movie was about. The trailers hadn't even come out. They said, just write your interpretation. And initially, when we went in and did it, the lyrics were totally different. And when we went to track the vocals, the trailers were out, and we said, it might be a good idea to watch the trailers. And we did, and completely changed the lyrics because it was more about the original, Lewis Carroll vision of Alice in Wonderland. And looking at this, it was Alice going back kind of to Wonderland, so we had to change it up a little bit.
Who is that, Brent, who does that, or you, or a combo? Or
Brent is the absolute lyricist because he's good at it. I mean, he's watching him write lyrics and perform lyrics and sing lyrics it's really mind-blowing. He's a genius when it comes to that.
So he writes the words, and does he write all the music too?
He will write his melody that he's going to sing. As far as the music, that's a collaborative effort. The Alice song was actually written mostly, if not all, by Eric, our bass player, which he's one of those guys that's what he does on the road to calm down. He writes songs. Myself and Brent can't really do that on the road. We focus on the show. We're kind of one-track minded, so we can't think about the next record or writing songs. But Eric, that's what he does to calm down, so he writes a lot on the road.
And is the thing with Alice and is there when Disney wants it to be on their project, how does that work with Atlantic?
It was like pulling teeth. It was very painful, but we made it through. Atlantic knew that'd be good exposure for the band, but it goes on Hollywood Records, which is Disney record label. So anything monetarily, when it comes down to business, is all them. But that's for them and their lawyers to figure out. We just write a song.
But I knew there had to be a headache in there somewhere.
It was miserable. It still is. It's still one of those things because I think Disney wanted to use it as a single on radio. And we can't really do that because we have our own album and have our own singles out there. So it's been a battle, and I can't wait to see what happens with the Sylvester Stallone one, which is on a whole other record label as well. So
you know Leah Pizzicani?
Very well. Leah's my girl. I love her to death.
And you know Jason?
Absolutely.
Jason's a dude who got me into commercial radio. We went to college together.
No kidding. Wow.
I was in the middle of Woodstock '94 in the field with those guys.
Wow. Yeah, you never know. You never know.
It's a crazy world. I've known them a very, very long time. When he heard that I was going to be talking to you, he reached out to me and said to say hi to you guys.
Very cool. Very cool. We'll tell him hello as well.
Yeah.